Hello and welcome to another episode on Roscast, but as tradition remains, drum roll! Welcome to the last month of 2022. Welcome to the month of December. Welcome to the 12th month of 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Welcome to the last congratulatory note of the year. Wow, I don't know how this year has been for you, as I usually always ask you, but how has it been for you? For me, this year has been a year of lessons, a year of experiences, a year of new things. One of the major theme for my life this year was new, and I've had a lot of experiences that have been new, and I'm grateful to God for that. But I can always also say, even if you're not listening to the podcast as of when it was made, it means we are alive as of this time, and on that I'm so grateful to God for life, and thank God for keeping you alive as well. So with that being said, let's right into today's podcast. Welcome to an episode of Roscast, and as usual I'm going to give you a preamble and inspiration behind this topic. Now, when this year started, one of the major themes I got from my life was new. And so far, I've had a lot of experiences that have been new, and a lot of changes and a lot of lessons so far. At the end of 2021, I was entering 2022 with the expectations of having a major change in my life, and which by God's grace, I got to experience, and I'm grateful for. So today's podcast, I'm going to be sharing with you this topic that has been on my heart for a while, and I've been pondering and thinking about it, and it's actually been something that has influenced a lot of my decisions this year and a lot of my approach to different areas of my life. And I'm still learning, I'm still experiencing, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've experienced, some of the things that this thoughts that I've had has influenced. So with that being said, let's right into today's episode on Roscast. So as usual, I'm going to give a definition of the topic, but I'm going to first apologize to you and tell you that I did not check the dictionary meaning of this topic. So I'm just going to define it as my understanding. So regret is a negative feeling that comes with disappointment. It's a feeling of not making most out of what should have been. So it is a feeling of looking back and not being happy with certain steps that you have done. So there's nothing positive about feeling regretful. Look, let me not say there's nothing positive. The only positive that may come out from feeling regretful is doing something better than what you have done, or making plans to improve, to either change, I think I'm saying the same thing. That's the only positive thing I can say about regret. But regret in itself is not a good feeling. It does not denote a good experience. Now, as someone that struggles with procrastinating, and procrastinating is not a good thing. The only aspect of procrastination that has been a little positive, as that it gives me time to be very creative. It gives me enough time to maybe think more stuff. And as I read somewhere, they say creative people are procrastinators. But procrastinating has not really been a very good thing for me, and I don't think it's good for anybody. One of the downsides about procrastination is that it comes with regret. The moment you miss out on a particular time to do something, on a particular time to make a change, to take a step, to make a decision, it often comes with regrets. Now, regret, robs you of the joy of your dreams, robs you of the joy of doing things. And I do think that this topic is a very good follow-up to the previous topic. So if you've not listened to the previous topic, please do go listen to it. Now, there was a year 2020. In the year 2020, I made a documentary, that's a docu video on YouTube titled Cave Woman. And that was the year I began to really question a lot of my personal ideas, question my reasons for doing certain things, certain principles for my life, questioning the way I approached relationship and how I approached life in general. And in that particular video, which is Give Woman, if you want to watch my creativity, and it's on YouTube, and I'm really proud of doing that, because that video and going through the process of creating it exposed my eyes to an area of my life I was afraid to face, and that was the fear of stepping out, the fear of doing things, just the concern of, oh, am I going to make mistakes, even though I'm making a lot of mistakes. And I realized that I was someone that caged myself so much and did not give myself to experience things. And I was waiting on people, waiting on the best situation, waiting on the best circumstances before stepping out. Not that I had not been making efforts to pursue my dreams or to do things, but even while still doing that, I was enveloped by a lot of fear and concern for my life and for my future. Will I be able to make my dreams? Will I be able to do things? Will anybody support me? And all sorts of negative thoughts. So I just had that, I don't know the English word to use at this point, but I just had that, is it epiphany? Probably. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I had that epiphany, and I just thought about my life like, I have to learn to step out of my comfort zone and do things I'm not comfortable doing and challenge myself. And I'm telling you, I'm still on that process. I've not really evolved as much as I should, or as much as I thought I would have by this time, but I'm growing, so I'm grateful to God for that. And since that year, since 2020, I realized that I needed to spend more time intentionally with knowing myself, with discovering myself. Prior to this time, I knew that I needed to discover myself more than what I knew, and I needed a space to breathe. And by 2020, I got the realization that, girl, there's a lot to discover about yourself, and there's a lot to explore and to know about yourself. And like I said, I'm still on that journey. So this year, with all the things and expectations that were coming, one of the things I entered into 2022 was that I was just going to try as many new things as possible. I was just going to give myself an opportunity to experience things. And I was going to give myself the opportunity to experience things without harboring a lot of fear. It's one life. It's my first life. It's my first earth life. It's my only earthly life. And I could just take a breath and do those things. And if it turns out well, fine. If it doesn't turn out well, then I learn. I'm not saying doing risky things I'll put my life in danger, but just taking a step to make certain decisions that make me afraid and make me like second guess myself, and just go out and do them. And if it turns out fine, right. If it doesn't turn out fine, good. Importantly, I get to have experiences. I get to have that experience that, okay, at least I tried. I know I talked about this somewhere, either in a vlog or in another podcast, something similar to this, but I can't remember exactly. But one of the things I entered this year with was that at least I tried, at least I made an effort. And even if it did not come out as much as I wanted, at least I could look back and be grateful to myself that I made some effort. I am thankful to God for certain areas of my life. Yes, I've not given me the best result, but I'm grateful that I could look back at those areas of my life, at those moments of my life, and thank God that I maximized certain opportunities, certain experiences, and I'm grateful that at least I tried. That word, very important. At least I tried. Now, this year was a year of new things, and there were certain experiences that I plunged myself into. I plunged myself into them, and I was like, God, please, let me be making the right decision and just guide myself. Like, even if I'm not making the right decisions, show me the right time to stop and just help me to know when I'm supposed to continue, when I'm supposed to stop. And I'm grateful to God so far for the lessons learned. Now, it is the what ifs. What is, that is one of the major fear. What if it doesn't work? What if people don't support me? What if I fail? What if I lose? The what ifs is the major thing that I've had to face when it comes to regret. Now, I hate regretting. I don't like regretting my decision, and I think that has been one of the recipes for wanting to have everything as perfect as possible, wanting to have conditions in a suitable place so that I know that I left no stones unturned. These are one of the things that also influenced my medical school, my approach to medical school. I used to read a lot of textbooks, make sure that I tried so hard to make sure that I never left any stone unturned. But it never meant that I always knew everything. Sometimes even if I read so many books, I read a lot of topics, sometimes I do not remember as much as I read. I used to just make a joke that if I remembered as much as I read in medical school, nobody would see my back. But the truth was that I never still remembered a lot of things that I read. I really ended up remembering the things that my brain found was very important for me to know. And sometimes later on, when I'm hearing a teacher teaching a topic, I'm like, oh, I already read that, but I could not retain it. So it is that sense of what is that always made me to want to have everything as perfect as possible. But in this year, I told myself that everything does not have to be perfect. Everything does not have to be in the greatest condition in order to do what I want to do, in order to take a step, in order to make a decision. I had already been doing that in previous years, but in this year, I consciously just had to tell myself that so that I do not feel overwhelmed by the feeling of, okay, everything is not in place. Now, what if can really rob us from making decisions that gives us the opportunity to have experiences? Sometimes what is very important in life is experience that you go through. The experiences that we go through, it shapes a lot of our mind. It either makes or it breaks us. But you know the thing, if it breaks you, you can still be made back. And I'm not saying this saying that we should enter into dangerous situations that would endanger our life. I want to make that clear. Or that will put us in such a risky place that our lives will be compromised. As long as life is going to be compromised, I'm not going to encourage it. But I'm just saying that certain experiences will open areas of our lives that need healing. We'll expose areas of our lives that need correction. We'll expose areas of our lives that we have strengths. And we'll expose areas of our lives that we never knew was there, but they were there. We just need experiences to open them up. So if I dwell so much on the what is, I was going to miss out on so many things that I could experience. Now, I had a lot of experiences this year, a lot, from January until December, a lot of new experiences. I released a book. I attended radio stations. I was invited to radio stations. I started Abbas Court. I had sessions there. I had like very important sessions on Abbas Court. I had collaborations on my podcast with people I never met, people from other sides, the other part of the world, the other part of my world. I had collaborations with people that I've never met, and on topics that were so beautiful. And I, went to a place I've never been to. I experienced some adventures unlike myself, and all of that has blended into beautiful memories. Not that I'm not to hold on to memories, but beautiful experiences rather, from which I could have a harvest of inspiration to share with the world. In this year, I tried my best to stretch myself a little bit more, even when I felt suffocated. This year could really, really feel suffocating due to the pressure that I really went through. And I still tried to stretch myself a bit more, in the sense that I tried regardless to still do certain things that I needed to do. In this year, I dared myself to have some relationships, to experience some relationships that could give me a broader aspect to life, and I have been learning a lot. Like I told you, I'm still on the process. I am still a sort of a cave woman. And if you don't know what a cave woman is, I did a blog series on it, and I also did a vlog documentary on it. You will see the blog series on Deeper Look, and you see the vlog on my YouTube channel. You can just access that by the link attached to this podcast platform. My Linktree account, you see every of these platforms I've mentioned, and you get to experience. I'm still a cave woman. I'm still evolving. I'm still learning. I'm telling you, I'm still very careful when I make decisions. I still try to test the waters. I'm still doing that. But at least I can say I'm better than I was before. In Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19, it says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the desert, wilderness, and rivers in the desert." I think I should read that again, and I'm reading from the King James Version. Isaiah 43 verse 19. "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Now, new things don't always feel comfortable, and I love my comfort. I love being in a place that I feel comfortable and safe. But the thing with experiencing life, the thing with experiencing new things is that it shifts our sense of comfortability. It takes us to places that we've not known before. And that experience is a recipe for not having so much regrets in life. Because the thing about regret is that you are disappointed you did not get to have certain experiences, or you did not experience certain new things. It's still all about experiences. Now, when you are someone that has a focus and an agenda for your life, a plan for your life, under God, yes, I have to put that under God, there are certain uncomfortabilities you have to experience in order to move into the new places that God wants for you. Now, God is going to be doing a new thing, but will I be able to know it? Will I be able to experience? Will I be able to identify it? It's going to make waters in the river, in the desert rather, rivers in the desert. But that comes with the uncomfortability, and I'm just going to use this analogy. A desert is used to being dry. It's not used to having water. And when water comes, water could be uncomfortable. But water is also good for the desert because at least it brings life. It cools the environment. So new things, when in a good way, I'm not talking about negative. I have to just mention that. When new things come into our life that are good, they sometimes make us uncomfortable because they turn us from where we've been, from the comfort that we've experienced. However, when we embrace those new things, we have experiences that change our lives for the good, for the better. Now, in this year, I've had a lot of holes booked in my mindset, not in a way to make me negative, but in a way to make me really question the source of certain things I've held on to. I've had my approach to things questioned, and I love those questioning because it made me to really look into myself and ask myself, why do you hold on to these things so much? And the results have come out even stronger in my mindset on certain things. And then in some certain things I've had to okay, girl, this is not that serious. This is not something that you should hold on so tightly to. Maybe you can relax a bit. And that has come with certain relief with myself, certain understanding of myself, certain appreciation of who I am, helping me to really relate with the world in a better way. Now, talking of mindset and questioning of principle doesn't always come out with positive things. So there's also that questioning of yourself, have I been doing the right thing? Have I been doing the wrong thing? But the good thing is that at least I can tell myself, at least I tried, at least I gave myself a benefit of doubt. One question I always ask myself is this: so if you don't do this, would you regret it in the future? If you do this, would you regret it? There's always that place of stopping and asking yourself if the decisions you are making would be something you are going to be proud of in the next few years. Would you be proud of yourself as you are seeing the person you are supposed to become, as you are seeing the person that you are supposed to be? Would you be grateful for certain decisions you are making now? I just have to put a balance in the name of trying to experience new things, in the name of trying to take risk. I do believe that risk should still be taken in a wise way. It should be taken in a way that in the future you're going to regret doing certain things. Because yes, the downside about it is that if you are someone that is adventurous, there's also a probability, if you are an adventurous person in a contrast to a recluse like me, or to someone that's afraid of stepping out, there's also a risk of you just taking rash decisions, you just making hasty decisions. And hasty decisions, when made in a very wrong way, can also lead to regret. To be like, I should have been patient, I should have waited. But then when the waiting is coming from a place of fear, of I don't want to make mistakes, you also tend to lose. So at the end of the day, the balance point is this. God is the balance point. And I'll still bring this basically brings me back to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 7, where the word of God is encouraging us to trust in the Lord in all our ways. And we should not lean on our understanding, and he shall make our path straight. I'm paraphrasing. So even in the course of trying new things and experiencing new things, there should be that faculty of our mind that keeps us in check, to ask, that we could ask ourselves, would I be happy with my decision I'm making now? Would it be something that would risk my future? Would it be something that would affect me in the future, affect my family, affect the dreams and the purpose and the vision that God has placed in my life? And I think that's very important also, to avoid experiencing things that will change the course of our lives away from what God has for us. I do believe that all things work together for our good, as long as we love God, as long as we follow his ways, even the bad things. Sometimes even our mistakes, God can still use our mistakes to change our lives. But as much as possible, I do believe it's better not to put ourselves in situations where we get to have experiences that will damage us rather than build us. So as much as experiences can make us, they can also break us. And even though I know that even in that breaking, even if they break us, God can still make us. But with God, you can trust him to have experiences that would make us more than they will break us. Now, let me just bring Barbara. Like, if I were to also use the analogy of a potter making a clay, yes, a potter breaks more. But I believe that it's better that God is the one breaking and making you than your bad decisions. Making decisions can be really tough. Making the right decisions, especially when we have our own selfish interest and when we have our own whole idea of what we want, making decisions can be very difficult. But one of the things I've used to encourage myself over the years is that God has always come in through for me. And as long as I'm humble and I'm patient to know what he wants for me, he's not going to lead me astray. Just as a verse in the Lord's Prayer says, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. I do believe that when we commit our ways into the hands of God, he's going to make his plans come to pass. And even if, just as what Joseph said to his brothers, even though you thought it for evil for me, but God turned it to good for me. So with God, we can make the right decisions. With God, we can step out of our comfort zones. With God, we will not make hasty decisions. It's all about trusting God in all the things that we do. And sometimes coming to the point of, okay, am I being careful or am I being fearful? Is it fear that is driving me, or am I being cautious with my decisions? So that line will always will come there, and it is important to always know the difference. But I'm just going to say that as someone that is also still learning, that's still on this good journey, there are times when being careful and being fearful it is difficult to differentiate them from each other. And with that being said, there are times that yes, in the process of trying to be careful, we may be fearful. And sometimes the process of being fearful doesn't mean that we are being careful. So in all of that, there still needs to be balance. And I trust that with humility in God, things will become clearer as we continue to trust him with our plans. And let me just say this, that having regret will still happen. Like, I don't know, I think it's just a downside of being a human being. I think that it's just the frequency and it's just the intensity of regret that would differ. And I think it's a reality of life that I've had to come to appreciate, in a sense that just acknowledge that this would happen. Regret will come up once in a while, like it will happen once in a while, because we are not perfect and we have a way of not always making the right decision, not doing everything as it should be. Regret will come in one way or the other, but I do believe that their intensity and the influence they have over our lives also matter. So the intensity of regret or intensity of the feeling of disappointment of not doing one thing or the other differs, and this is still factored by how we went about our lives and how we made decisions of our lives. One of the things I'm trusting God for is that when I'm done with this earth, when my life is coming to an end, when it's an end, I can just have that sigh and breath of relief and just be grateful to God that the good, the bad, and the ugly, everything, every experience brought me to the place I should be in. Yes. And I'm also still going to promote one of my books here. The End is a story, a collection of short stories that I shared in the year of 2020. And it's a collection of stories that talks about the end of people's lives. I really love that story because I really love this particular collection of short stories because it reflected my thought about what it feels like when life comes to an end. You can get to my seller shop. The title is This is the End, rather. This is the End. So I want at the end of my life to be able to look at my life and be grateful that I made decisions, I stepped out of my comfort zones, and I did things even when they did not feel comfortable. I want to be able to look back at my life and be grateful that I maximized the little things that I had and still made steps towards what God had put in my life. I want to be able to look back at my life and know that I had experienced people in a way that impacted my life positively. I want to look back at my life and just realize that I did not hold back because I was afraid of the what ifs. I want to be able to look at my life and be like, God, thank you for just stepping out and stepping into what God has for you. A lot of things that happened this year, like I said already, and I'm grateful because they happened because I decided to step out of my comfort zone. And I'm still on that journey, trusting God to help me to do more. But I'm grateful to God that I can look back so far in memories of my life and be grateful for many decisions I've made because I decided to step out. Because I decided to just do it. Even though, yes, I was afraid, even though, yes, I was not sure, even though I was not confident, I am grateful to God for many decisions in my life. And it's all because God has just kept on encouraging me, bringing people into my life, and just giving me the opportunities, giving me the opportunity to express certain things that I really want to do. And I trust Him that with Him, more of this is to come, and it will only get better with time. So I just want to end this podcast with the gratitude to God for everyone He has brought into my life this year, for everyone that gave me an opportunity, for everyone that supported, that appreciated, that did one or two things to just give me the opportunity to express certain things. I also want to thank God for myself for, still holding on to God even when I got discouraged and I lost interest, because at some point of this year I literally really lost interest in certain things that I really love to do. But I just want to thank God that despite how I feel like that many times, God always encourages me, and I'm grateful to myself for still holding on to God's hands despite my feelings. I want to thank God for everyone that has come into my life. I want to thank God for both the ones that did not come with good intentions, both the ones that didn't work well. All has been a source of inspirations. And I want to also thank God for those that have come into my life to make it better. I am so grateful for every one of you. Now, with that being said, Spotify did a wrap-up session for Rosecast. And if you want to access that, you have to be subscribed to my email listing, because I shared it there to those on my email listing. So if you want to watch the wrap up of Rosecast, yes, please subscribe to my email, and I'm going to tell you how you can access the wrap up session. So yes, I'm grateful to God for that. And also, I know the year is not yet over, so I have so much hope that I'll be able to accomplish the many things that I was not able to accomplish this year. And just also add that this particular topic was something I talked about I know I shared with those on my email list, and I asked them if they have any regret for the year. For me, coming to the end of the year, I'm almost having regret because there are many things I've not been able to do due to the tightness of my schedule. But I'm still very hopeful that before the end of the year, all those things will be accomplished. So I don't know about you. I don't know how much regrets you've had. I don't know if you're still having regrets. But I just want to say that, okay, it has happened. And that's one of that thing that I've used to encourage myself this year, that even when things happen that I'm not happy about, I'm not pleased about, I just tell myself, it has happened. Let us move forward. Let us make better decisions. Yes, regrets can come up, but let them spur us to do better, not make us to wallow in self-pity and in sadness. We can look at things that we're not happy about our lives and just do something about it. Yes. So I'm grateful to God for that. I'm grateful to God for the lessons, for everything. And I just wanted to say, God, thank you. God, thank you. And I also want to encourage you as well to also be grateful. Like, even if you are feeling regretful about certain things, see them as an opportunity to learn. Like, they've happened, we can learn from them, and by God's grace we make better decisions in the future. We make better decisions as we continue to grow older. We continue to make better decisions. And with that being said, that brings us to the end of today's episode on Rosecast. Do not hesitate to please share this podcast to as many people around you. Do not hesitate to subscribe on the platform that you are using, and that will be very, very appreciated. And don't hesitate to give your feedback. I'll really be appreciating and expecting that. Well, I just want to say that Abba's Court will be having a session on the 4th of December titled Becoming Better Than Our Parents. This has been a topic that has been on my mind for so long, and I'm grateful to God that finally a date has been given to it. I've been preparing for this topic for like months, and finally, thank God, we're going to be having it on Sunday, 4th of December. Also, Vlogmas series, I am just daring to start it. And because I don't know how very tight my schedule this year will be for this month of December. If you know, this is actually a major theme in the Paluk, a major series on the Paluk, and I'm just trusting God that this year's one will be full flow as it should. So yes, Vlogmas series on the Paluk. Another series that I've also been wanting to do for so many months, but I've started the House Job Chronicles. So December should be packed a lot on my creative platforms, and I'll be hopeful that you'll be engaging, and you can access all that at the link attached to this podcast platform, my Linktree account, and you get to access all my creative platforms. For Rosecast, I'm trusting God for inspiration of what to share, and I'm grateful to God for what He has for me this year. I'm really trusting God that before the end of this year, all that I'm supposed to do for 2022 will be done. So with that being said, until next time on Rosecast, stay safe and God bless. Bye-bye.